Well, howdy, y'all. Come on in Libby's Kentucky Kitchen and let's get to cooking. Let's see what we're going to fix this morning. Well, I got me some country ham. They are the breakfast cut, so I'm going to fix those. But what you got to have with country ham for breakfast? You got to have some good old biscuits. So we're going to start with the biscuits. And I'll show you what I got going on. Let me see if I can scoot you. Maybe, can I scoot you all the way back here? Let's see. Probably should have done that to start with. And that way maybe you can see me mix. So, I want some extra today because I want to make some fried pies later. So I'm going to start with about 3 cups, I think. And we'll go from there. And on your sifter, you don't have to sift this. I have, let me show you. White Lily self-rising. Now, if I'm going to use the self-rising, I use White Lily. If I'm going to use the all-purpose, White Lily's fine, but I prefer the let's see what we got here. The King Arthur all-purpose, if that's what, because it's even ground finer than the White Lily. So, and it, for some reason, the self-rising and the King Arthur is harder to find. So, and I don't know why. And when you do find it, it's more expensive. Didn't make sense, but okay, or what. And I've done this for you guys, several videos on these before. Now I'm going to put a little extra flour in here because we're going to need it for when we roll them out. And I need to turn on my burner and get it hot. I've just got a little bacon grease. Just a little bacon grease in my skillet. I gotta turn it on and get it hot. So I have some butter that I melted. You guys know how I do this by now. Instead of cutting my butter in, I don't, get it completely liquid melted, but I do get it softer. So there's about a half cup because it's 1 stick of butter. Let's see. So that's a cup and a half, and it's going to take a little more because I put extra flour in this morning because I want extra dough. Make sure it's shook up good. So I'm going to we're going to start with about a cup and a half of buttermilk and, of course, my half a cup of butter. But you can use shortening, you can use whatever. And remember how I showed you when you mix that together like that? That makes that butter back cold again. And it's in those little pea sizes that you already want. So I'm going to make my little well. Get it over here so y'all can see it. And my counters are already clean. I probably should have not put my chopping block back over here, but I thought I might needed it for the ham. So I'm going to do that right here where you guys can see me. And get all that out of there. And then we're going to stir it up. And you gotta remember, you don't want to overwork your biscuits, because if you do, they're going to be tough, and nobody's going to want to eat a hockey puck for a biscuit. I remember when my husband and I first got married, my very first attempt of making biscuits. Now, I mean, I had made them at home and not had any problem with it, had Mama's biscuit bowl, and no issues, right? And the first time I get married and I go out and I'm trying to make biscuits for my brand new husband, and we didn't even hardly know each other. But They were the worst biscuits I have ever made in my whole life. They were literal like hockey pucks. So now this is what you got. You got good old biscuit dough. Alright. My skillet is definitely hot. You guys should have hollered at me. Maybe one of y'all did holler at me. Did you? But what I do to clean my counters before I do my biscuits is I just clean it with pure vinegar. I wipe it off with a washcloth and then just use pure vinegar to clean it up. And there you go. That's all you need. And I didn't get out a biscuit cutter. What about that? So we just flouring our surface here. Let's see. Trying to get y'all where you can see well enough. Well, maybe that'll work. All right, let me get out my biscuit cutter because I forgot it. There's my biscuit bowl. You guys have seen my biscuit bowl several times. My biscuit cutter. Just a tin can with the holes poked in the bottom. If you're gonna make you one, make sure you poke those holes in the bottom, because if you don't, it gets a vacuum seal and it won't come loose. And I want y'all to show these. I want to show y'all. See how it's got? Can you see those chunks of butter in there? It's gonna be so good. But I do not need this many biscuits today because Susie is not even here. So it's just me and Dad. But I want to make some fried pies and have those. Maybe I'll do a video on that later. I've done videos on them before, I think I have. I don't know, I can't remember. I've got a few on there. And get all of our dough out. You want your dough nice and soft. I'm gonna get some flour over here without making too big of a mess. Hopefully that was my goal today. That's why I did it in this bowl instead of in my regular biscuit bowl, because I was hoping to keep the kitchen fairly clean. All right, remember we fold them over 3 or 4 times, so we'll have those nice fluffy layers. Just don't do it too many times. Hope y'all can see all right. I try real hard to make sure that y'all can. And I'm gonna flour my biscuit cutter. And then I'm gonna do one more fold. And we just push them out. Back in there, make sure it's good and hot. Do you have to heat up your oil? Don't know. I do. Sometimes I don't. Can I tell a big difference? Not a whole lot. Now this is about say ½ inch thick maybe. And we just cut us out some biscuits. And you know, I've heard them say that do not ever twist, twist when you're cutting them. Just go straight down like that. And you know what? I have done it both ways many times. Can I tell a big difference? Nope, I really can't. I've done it both ways, and I can't tell a whole lot of big difference. All right, we're gonna move our little skillet over here. Put our biscuits in. When you're doing biscuits, you need to put them fairly close together, because if they're touching, they're gonna rise higher. And that's what you want. You want that nice high rise with lots of fluffy layers. That ought to be plenty. That ought to be plenty. Do you have to use bacon grease? No. You can use shortening. You can use oil. I don't know if cooking spray will work. I've never tried it. but I don't see why it wouldn't. But I like that bacon grease because it gives it a crazy good flavor. And let me show you what my mama used to do. She would take that bacon grease, and she would put some over top of every single one of them, like that. But the one thing from heating up your oil beforehand, I'm gonna stick them in the oven. If you heat up your oil beforehand, then you got this nice crunchy layer on the bottom. Now, I ain't gonna worry about making any more because that's plenty for us, and I'm gonna stick my dough back in my bowl because I'm gonna use that later. And I'll just scoop this stuff out of the way a little bit. And I'm gonna put this back over here. Let me wash my hands real quick when we do this. You know, if you got this stuff on your hands and you're doing it, put a little flour on your hands and rub them together just like that. Just rub them, rub them, rub them. And all that stuff, if you rub them long enough, will come right off. Okay, now, let me scoot this stuff out of the way. And I'm gonna have to scoot you guys back up here a little closer so y'all can see what I'm gonna do in this here skillet. And I will clean this up. Like I said, I'm gonna make pies, so I'll be using that again. So, let's turn our burner on here. And like I said, these are just breakfast ham cuts, and this is Penn's Country Ham. I like Penn's. I like Clifty Farms. Let's see if I can find some scissors to get it open. My old hands don't work as well as what they used to. Now, when I put this in here, I always put in a little bit of oil because these particular pieces are not real fatty. If you get some that's super fatty, then don't worry about it. And I will show you what they look like. And right now I got my burner on high just because I want it to warm up, you know, fairly quick. Let's see. Let me see if I can scoot y'all. Hopefully y'all can see fairly well. All right. And I'm going to put maybe, golly, not even a teaspoon of oil in there, okay? Just enough to get them started. And then when you pull them apart, if y'all hang with me, I'll show you how to make red-eye gravy too. And they don't want to come apart this morning. I think it's my old hands. It's Saturday morning, and it is going to be a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful day. All right. Here we go. Now we're getting it. See? Just little breakfast pieces of ham. So I'm going to do that, and I'm going to turn my burner down now because I'm getting it going. And we don't want to burn our good old country ham. Now, Ricky and I cannot eat all this country ham this morning. So I tell you what I'm going to do. I am going to make up, I'm going to make up some breakfast sandwiches. You know how people stop at McDonald's, and I do too sometimes, and get you a little breakfast sandwich on your way to work or whatever. So what I do is when I have leftovers here, I make up several of them, stick them in the freezer. In the mornings, when you get up, all you got to do is pull one out of the freezer, wrap it in a paper towel, and stick it in the microwave for 2 minutes, and you've got your own good breakfast sandwich that you made at home, and you know what's in it. Good old country ham and egg and cheese biscuits be good in the mornings when you're in a hurry. And you can pop that in the microwave and have that done and be on your way in 2 minutes. And if you went through the drive-thru at McDonald's, and I think a lot of people do that for convenience, and I understand, but you're going to sit in that drive-thru line more than any 2 minutes. You can be sure of that. Much more. So it's quicker. It's better for you. You know what you're getting. This is the way I like to do it. I like having, you know, a good old breakfast sandwich in the morning. Like most people. Alright, let me throw this in the garbage. And there we go. Oh my goodness. They need to make a country ham potpourri, don't they? That's what I need. Country ham potpourri. And you'll be able to tell when it's time to flip it because it'll release. It releases on its own. If it's stuck to the skillet, and that's if you got a good season on your iron skillet. Well, that one just doesn't want to cooperate. And these don't take no time to cook because they're so small and thin. And I'm going to have to get my water out. These are really dry, actually. They have very, very little oil in them. And you know, if you make red-eye gravy and you don't eat it all, you save that. You don't throw it away. And then if you're making green beans, or if you're making baked beans, or if you're making anything you would put ham or bacon in, you know, if you're making a pot of beans, you know, like pinto beans or great northern beans, you can use that red-eye gravy as seasoning in those beans. We don't want to waste any more than what we have to waste, right? We want all that good flavor. And of course, because this is country ham, that means it's cured. So it doesn't take but just a minute to get that good brown. Let's see if I can you see it? Can you see the little brown? Maybe you can see it. Let me grab some water for my red-eye gravy. And I want to show you guys a couple things. Got me some water. I don't know if y'all have an Aldi's anywhere close to where you live, but there's one that I pass on my way to work. Well, these are this jar, that 4-cheese spaghetti sauce that I get comes in these. And if you look on here, it has the measurements on there. It starts at 1/2 cup, and then at the very top one, it's 2 1/4 cups. So if you filled it all the way through full, it would be probably, I don't know, 2 1/2 maybe. Yeah, about 2 1/2 cups. So when you get these, if you get them, don't throw them away and then go buy a measuring cup. You know what I'm saying? You get these, you save them, you reuse them. Now, I don't know if you could reuse it to can in it again. Let me see if. Look at there. That lid that you get, you know, that you can with. Just a regular mouth lid. Well, I dropped it on the floor, so I can't put it back in there. But that'll go right down in there. You could actually can in that again. Huh. I thought that was the coolest thing. You know, I don't know if you guys have an Aldi. I need to wash that in there. If you guys have an Aldi where you live, but if you read about Aldi, they do a lot more, they have a lot more food that is like the organic, the natural, that doesn't have all the extra preservatives and all that kind of stuff in it. It's just a better quality. Aldi is a German grocer, is what it is. It's from Germany. And that's how I get my German sausages. And that's why I stopped there in the first place, was to get those German sausages. And once I actually stopped there and got those, I fell in love with Aldi. And I do probably somewhere between 50 and 75% of my grocery shopping at Aldi. Either at Aldi or Foodland up here. Now, there's a few things that the two of those don't have that I have to get other places. Now, let me grab a bowl to put my... Let's see, I need one to put my ham in too, don't I? This ham has very, very, very little fat in it. Kind of surprised. Usually country ham has more fat than that. And you see how quick and easy that is to cook? It takes no time to cook these breakfast pieces because they are sliced so thin. I was hoping you guys might get to see my biscuits, but it ain't looking good for you. I even put them on a higher temperature so that you might. Alright, so now we got this. We're going to turn that down a little bit. And we're just going to add some water. With red eye gravy, you don't do the flour and the oil and all that and make your roux. It's just, you're basically just deglazing that pan. And you know, anytime you cook in an iron skillet, or I guess any skillet, and something is stuck on it real bad and you can't get it loose, put it on your burner, put it on high, put water in it, and let that heat and that water do its work, and every bit of it will come right back up. Don't try to scrape it and all that. So here we are. And I didn't make much because, like I said, it's just me and Daddy. And Daddy don't like red eye gravy, so I just made just enough for me. And there we go, your red eye gravy. If you guys can see it. And if you can you see that color, that deep, dark chocolate color? Oh my goodness. I gotta try a piece. We haven't had it in a little while. I still got flour on my hands and everything. Oh my goodness. So, so good. You guys try this. It's good. You'll like it. Okay. I'm gonna get off here and make some more stuff. Glad y'all came in the kitchen with me today. Hope y'all come back. And I sure do thank you. All right. Bye.